Hello everyone, welcome to Daddy Needs Coffee. My name is Lee Stevens, science fiction author and daddy who always needs coffee, joined by my lovely wife, Lindsay, also known as Mommy Needs Insulin, on Instagram and YouTube, mostly on Instagram, but we'll start getting some stuff up on YouTube too.
Hi.
So we thought it would be interesting if we asked each other questions about life with a writer and person with diabetes, respectively, to kind of learn a little bit about, what it's like to live with someone with our conditions. The writing condition. It's incurable. So we're going to fire each other some questions. She's going to ask me in this video about the writing process or life as a writer, and I'm going to ask her, what is it like living with a writer for these reasons or whatever. It should be fun. In her video, we'll do the exact opposite. We'll flip it. And I'll be asking her questions about diabetes, and she'll be asking me questions about living with someone with diabetes, and it'll elucidate our situations. I just wanted to use a big word. Yeah. Fire away. What's a question? What's a question?
So what is your favorite part of being an author?
My favorite part of being an author is, I think, hearing from fans, hearing from people who read your work, and who say, hey, this was a great thing. This made me think of things differently. This got me through something. This excited me. This was just fun. And I think that's my favorite part is feedback. I mean, if you were just writing to no one, what would you be doing?
So if that's your favorite part of being an author, what's your favorite part of the writing process? I know you've shared that it's not when the book comes out, because then you go into a depression.
She loves it when that
you would think
happens.
that most people think, oh, what's when the book is released?
No, it's
so I know that was kind of a trick question.
Right.
So what is your favorite part?
So it's nice when the book gets released. It's exciting because it's finally done, and it can be a burden, honestly, off your shoulders. But my favorite part of the writing process is formulating the concepts in my head, and that can be for whole books, it can be for scenes, and you know what, I'm gonna adjust this answer right now, because obviously you think of things that need to be written, you think of scenes, you think of characters, and I'll listen to music and I'll get things in my head, I'll get ideas in my head, right? And that helps me get into a character's mindset or the mindset of a scene. But the absolute best part is when you don't have to do it. When some random inspiring thing in life builds an entire scene or an entire character or an entire moment in your head. And those are the moments where you're like, ooh, this is good. That's my favorite part, is when you catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I can see that.
Conceptually.
Yeah. Okay, so how is being a writer different in actuality than how you thought it would be?
I thought I'd make more money. So every writer is probably gonna say, I thought I'd make more money. I didn't necessarily think I'd make more money, because I researched how much money writers make, and you don't. It's not the Nicholas Sparks lifestyle where you're sitting in a cabin or a lake or whatever. I think the most different part is the battle for time. Time management is tough. Now, there are always things that are vying for time in your life. And I'm not just talking about in the realm of writing. I'm talking about with any hobby, with anything. Things vie for time, right? And so writing is one of those things that vies for time. But what also vies for time is my wife and my kids and my job. I do have a job outside of this. And so all of those things vie for time. And when I stack writing up on the priority list, it's not at the top. It's in my head always, but I don't always have time, and it's not always the right decision to make time to do it, because then I'm neglecting things that are more important, like my family, like my job. And so I think that's it, though. I think I may have had this idea that throughout the course of a day or at any time, I'll get one of those strikes I talked about. And I can just drop what I'm doing and, this is the moment. I'll go sit at the keyboard and type away, and it's not like that. Sometimes you have to really try to save those moments. I have my iPhone. I have the Notepad app. I'll type ideas in that all the time. When I'm driving, I have a little thing on my steering wheel. I can press a button and the radio records my voice. I can leave voice memos with just a push of a button. So those kinds of things help me save the great ideas for when I do have time to write. Although, if an idea is great, you're not going to forget it. But yeah, I think that's the part that's most different. All right, so I have some questions. Now for you. What is life like living with a writer?
Well, I can say that, and you mentioned it before. That,
Our dog just groaned.
Yeah.
Like, what an answer to the question. What an appropriate response.
Well, it's always on your mind. So, a lot of times I'll look at you and I notice like you're far off. The wheels are always turning. You're always in that mindset.
So that may be a great segue on my next question. What's the most annoying thing about being married to a writer?
I don't know that you could say that there's an annoying thing about it. It's a lifestyle. So I think early on in our relationship, I had to get used to the fact that when you write novels and there are female characters in there, that's not necessarily, this is what you're into, or this is what you find attractive, or whatever, that they're just characters. And so, thankfully, early on, we kind of got over that.
She used to give me some flack, man.
That was something that I had to come to terms with, that, okay, you have these fictional people in your head. Coming to terms with that helped me a lot. I don't know, that kind of didn't answer the question.
No, it kind of does. That may be the most annoying part about being a writer, too, is that you have all these people in your head all the time. Okay, here we go. If there is any writer out there watching this with their spouse, what would you want to tell their spouse?
Or their significant other.
Or their significant other.
Well, I might have answered that kind of in the previous question a bit, but I think it's important in our role to be supportive. And when we mentioned that before, that he really needs that feedback and even just that. I know for him to be able to talk about what he's writing, even if it's not giving away necessarily plot or anything like that, sometimes he just has to bounce ideas off. And so for me, that's been a perk of being part of his journey, and part of this life has been the ability to be that for him, to listen, to give feedback. One thing I'm really good at is when he comes up with all these ideas and saying, but you need to focus on this. So I can, in some ways, I can kind of keep you grounded. I guess.
Does.
Yeah.
She leads me like cattle into the right way to go. Yeah. No question.
But I mean, I think our role can be important. I think a writer probably needs that. Yeah.
Well, we need someone who's going to tell us when we're screwing up, and so
I'm good at that.
She's so good at that. But it's a thing that's important because we always think all our ideas are great, right? And so she does keep me grounded, gives me honest feedback. Don't have, if you're the spouse of a writer, don't just say, "Oh, that sounds great, honey," or whatever. Say when things are bad, and if you're the writer, you should listen. You're capable of writing things that aren't good, so listen. All right. Anything you want to add? Anything that you wanted to? Is it worth it? She hesitated. I know when I've been insulted, you didn't answer right away.
It's really interesting. It's not a common profession, so I think it really is unique to be able to experience that. So for me, I've enjoyed it. I've always been an avid reader. So it's such a privilege to be able to be the first person or one of the first people that read your books every time.
Who's your favorite author?
Steve.
And scene. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. Definitely, I want you guys to see the videos that we have coming out. And go to Mommy Needs Insulin on YouTube and Instagram. Mommy Needs Insulin, Daddy Needs Coffee, and Mommy Needs Insulin. Perfect descriptors. And I'm going to ask her some questions about diabetes and life with diabetes, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. So follow us both. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Stay epic. Until next time.